All right, so you should be in the homework packet now, your pink packet. I am on page 3, and I just want to bring up a couple of notes to hopefully get you through this packet a little bit easier. So on page 3, the first problem, after you type this into y equals, what I would like for you to do is to make your window. I want your x to be -10 to 10. And then I would like you to set your y window from -15 to 60. This window should work throughout the entire thing. When you get to completing the table, I'm going to go ahead and give you the x value of your vertex. You're going to be rounding everything to the tenths, but the vertex x value is 2.5. So when you pick the y's and you're going bigger, and you pick the y's and you're going, I'm sorry, the x's and you're going bigger and the x is going smaller, I don't want any more decimals. So the next nice number after 2.5, I want you to pick 3 and 4. And then I want you to come down here and get 2 and 1. The next thing that I think might be a question for you is when you get to this AROC. Remember, AROC is average rate of change. So I'm giving you the x values, and you will need to find the y values, which you can easily do on your table. So by hitting second graph. And remember, when you are ready, the formula for average rate of change is subtract the y's on top. Let your calculator help you. Subtract the x's on the bottom. You're going to get some fraction, but then you need to divide your fraction so that your final answer is over 1. Okay? The next thing that might come up as a slight problem is, or question is, again, it's finding a different value. So in this problem, if I give you y is 30, going back up to the original equation, that means I want y to be 30. So you will write this down, please. So y equals this. And your job is to find x. And you should already have this in y1. And I want you to find this in y2. You should be writing all of this down on your paper. And then the same idea is going to happen with these two sets of parentheses. This is y. So you will need to put y equals, put the equation in, and then y equals, put the equation in. And you will have one of them in y1 already. Again, this should be your y1, and you will need to make this your y2, and the same thing over here. So you can take a moment, pause, and write this down. But what I mentioned in the video a lot is that in a situation like this, there's actually 2 answers for each one. Okay? So that's question 1. Let's flip and talk about question 2. So on question 2, when you get there, the window I would like for you to use, sorry, I just hit this again with my arm, is for your x's, I would like for you to go from -10 to 30 on the x's, and on your window for the y's, I would like for you to go from -10 to 60. Make that first note. Right? You're going to be finding the domain. Remember, that's your smallest x on the left, your biggest x on the right, and your range is the smallest y on the left and the smallest y on the right. You do need to refer back to your notes to answer some of these questions. Okay? The rest, again, average rate of change. I'm giving you the x's. You should use your table to find the y's. And then we just wrote the formula on the other page. So if you didn't write it down, write it down. And all the problems are kind of falling all in the same spot. So again, if this is y equals 20, you need to do y equals 20 equals. You will already have this in y1, you will need to put this into y2, and then find where the 2 meet so you can find the x's. And it's always meeting twice, so you're going to be giving me 2 answers. And just always through the whole thing, round to the nearest tenths. And then the same idea will happen in this row. And then I'm going to leave 3 all to you, except I'm going to give you the window. So on number 3, for the x's, I want you to use -10 to 10. That should be fine. But for the y's, I want you to go from -35 to 60. Again, please make note of all of this. And then when you do the vertex, I will go ahead and tell you that the x value is -1.5. I want you to pick nice x values above. So getting bigger would be -1 and 0, and getting smaller, we'll pick -2 and -3. All right, so that is it. You better be good, or, well, it's not going to end well for any of us. I will see you on Friday.